Hey guys, welcome back to the Corn Bros. I'm one of your bros, Aaron.
I'm your other bro, Jacob.
And this week we are doing a topic, DC versus Marvel. Now you might be thinking, are we going to put all the DC heroes on one side versus all the Marvel heroes on the other side, and then have them fight and see which one's the best? No.
Oh, I thought we were just saying take your DC action figures and your Marvel action figures, bang them together.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I have any. I know I have Marvel characters, but I don't think I have any.
You got like 3.
Like toys?
Yeah, you got that Superman with the incredibly flat head.
Well, no, I know I have DC.
Oh.
But I don't
you don't have any like Marvel.
I don't think I have any
figures.
Yeah, I don't think I have any Marvel action figures.
Well, you'll take your statue.
No, this episode's just gonna be talking about what we like for both companies, what we don't like from both companies, and just see maybe where we think, because surprisingly, they both have pros and cons to them.
Surprisingly.
Because
they have pros.
Because and I'll be honest, I haven't been the biggest superhero fan. I watched cartoons as a kid. I think notably the first one was X-Men. I don't know what subtitle it was, but it was like Evolution. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's one with I think Cyclops, Jean Grey were like the two like seniors or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had like a bunch of new recruits. I think the girl who faced through walls, Shadowcat, the guy who could teleport,
Nightcrawler,
and then
the man who could grow spikes, and I'm pretty sure his name was Spike.
Those are like the only 4 characters and then I remember that the teacher, because then the teacher was the other blue guy, the Beast.
Yeah, Beast.
Yeah, so, and then Wolverine was like the cool teacher, but like he didn't.
I don't think he was a teacher. I think he was more of somebody who's kind of bumming off of Professor X.
Yeah, and then Professor X as well. And then what? I remember watching that. I was like, okay, this is cool, and I didn't think much of superheroes at the time. Because I know you watched it.
I mean, I don't recall much of it anymore.
Because all I remember is that like Magneto is like, I wanted to destroy the world or something, and he's got Juggernaut.
Yeah, Magneto was like, I'm your dad. To like 6 other characters.
Was he? Was he like a real father?
I don't know. It's been too long. I just know that I remember it was like a thing between Magneto and Mystique, and they're like, oh, by the way, we're parents for like half of you guys.
Which is funny because Mystique never took me as like gonna be a mother figure. Like she just never.
Like, I think she was Nightcrawler's mom, but that might have been a ruse because they're both blue.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
See, I always assumed that they were like somehow related, or somewhere in the same field. Because I think she did that once. Yeah, because I think that's the only one she's like, oh yeah, I'm your mother.
Don't tell anybody.
That might have been a ruse.
But I mean, I don't remember a lot from Evolution.
Yeah, I remember it just kind of it was on for like what, maybe 13, 14 episodes or something like that.
Oh, I'm sure there was more than that.
And then it just kind of just disappeared.
I just know that we have a VHS tape with like 4 episodes on it.
Did we really? Oh, I'd look for that.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the basement.
It's probably got sold by now.
Probably.
Let's see. So that was something. And then I don't know if you ever watched, but on the CW, I think it was the CW at the time. Static X or Sack Shock. WB, yes.
CW is a different thing.
Well, CW right now has all the.
Yeah, but it's not WB.
I know. Well, I just remember I think it was every Monday or something, coming home and seeing Static Shock, and
I remember a bit from Static Shock.
I remember he flew around on a trash can lid.
That was until his friend made him like an actual shield thing. I don't know how, but he did.
That was a pretty good series. That was another one that it's just kind of, I don't think it had the fanfare. There was rumors that it might be coming back.
That'd be nice.
Because I really did like it. Maybe I wouldn't like it now because nostalgia always makes things better than what they are, but at least at the time I was like, this is a pretty cool hero.
I just remember Batman showing up in one episode and that just blew my mind.
Did he really?
Yeah, he shows up in an episode and he's like, So where's Robin? And he's like, he's with the Titans. And that was it.
Okay, it vaguely sounds familiar. Yeah, because like he was like a kind of a fanboy. He's like, oh shit, it's Batman.
Yeah, I mean, Batman shows up like, oh shit. Batman doesn't leave his town.
So, because I think for the longest time I didn't think Static Shock was part of. I always thought it was just a separate.
Yeah, I thought it was an original thing, and then it's like, nah, it's in the DC universe somewhere along the line.
So I'm hoping we get to see Static Shock again. Never really watched much Marvel cartoons.
I watched a few, but it wasn't until like 2010-ish, and I only watched a couple episodes. Because I've seen the Avengers cartoon. That was like Earth's Mightiest Heroes or whatever. It was on Disney.
Okay, well that explains why.
And then I've seen a few episodes of Ultimate Spider-Man. I didn't care for it because it was like, it wasn't Spider-Man where he had like web powers. It was Spider-Man where he was using tools.
Real? Oh, like so his strings were.
Yeah, like it was.
See, that's in the Marvel canon now, where like he wasn't bit by a spider, and that for me, and I haven't watched all 60 different versions of Spider-Man, but I'm like, no, Spider-Man got bit by a spider. But we'll get to that later.
Let's see. Oh man, there was one Marvel show I remember. I can't remember what it was, but it was like they were like fuck. They were super deformed.
Super deformed.
So that they were chibi, kind of.
Okay, I have no idea.
Like,
I can't help you on this one.
It was on Nickelodeon for a while, and
oh, yeah, I might have.
It was something to do with the Infinity Stones, and everybody just looked the exact same, just like they were palette swaps of each other. And I'm like, man, this looks
vaguely, very vaguely. Like I could just be making up in my head, but.
Well, you talk about the next thing. I'm gonna see if I can find the game.
So I think also after so like I said, I haven't really watched much Marvel, but I think more DC cartoons. There's Teen Titans. That was pretty fun to watch. All the seasons were pretty good. Then you had Justice League. I think it came on like right after Teen Titans, and so that was like and I've never been a Superman fan, and I've never really been a Batman fan. So, but it's just all the characters together. I'm like, okay, I'm a fan of all these characters, not just one.
Yeah, because they would show off. Like every other character would have like an episode.
Yeah, and there was kind of a. I don't really remember much of the plot of the Justice League.
It was a villain of the week kind of thing. Like
yeah, and it wasn't dark either, which was nice. It wasn't like the world's gonna end.
It wasn't the gritty superhero movies we get now where it's like, oh man, superheroes are a menace to society.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, there goes Superman punching a hole through the building. That's cool.
Hey, Superman! Oh, he put his glasses on. Who the fuck's that dude?
That's wild. Where'd he go?
He just does it right in front of him. He's like, whoa, Superman disappeared. And this guy showed up. Who the fuck's this guy?
I'm giving up on it.
Giving up on it? Okay.
Yeah, it was...
It must not
I just remember it was Iron Man saying, okay, squaddy, squad up, or some bullshit like that. It was dumber than hell.
So, do you think it was directed more towards kids?
It was a kid's show.
Okay.
It was definitely a kid's show.
Okay. I think I might know what you're talking about, and this was like before like Marvel like really started to take off.
No, this was after.
Was it?
Well, this was more recent. Like, I think the game was like on the Wii U.
Oh, okay. I think I know exactly. I think I've seen it before.
Yeah, let me just try to look for it again.
But so I think for animated, I think DC wins.
Yeah, because like you had the Batman animated series, which was great.
So let's talk video.
It was a superhero squad show.
Okay. I think I might have seen commercials.
It looks like that.
Oh, yeah.
It looks
okay.
gross.
Yeah. Jacob showing me a video or a picture. Let's see.
It was Hero Up.
Hero Up. Talk about the characters on that picture.
Well, you got the regular Marvel people. Wow. What the fuck's up with Captain America's head? Look at that. He's got some big brain action going there.
So you have Captain America, Hulk, the old version of Thor with the wings on his hat, Falcon, Iron Man, Silver Surfer, Wolverine, and then some, I don't know who that girl is.
This one over here?
Yeah.
That's Miss Marvel.
Okay, so is that supposed to be the...
It's the one that becomes Captain Marvel.
Okay. And then on the villain side you have Brainiac.
And that's MODOK.
Yeah, Brainiac.
No, Brainiac's from DC.
Yeah, Brainiac. Doctor Doom, Sandman. Is that Sandman?
You talking about that guy right next to you? No, that's Abomination.
Okay, Sandman, Loki, Juggernaut.
Loki's down there.
And then, I don't know. Okay, so I guess, yeah, I vaguely remember that.
I think that's Sabretooth.
So that came out what?
That might be the Riddler.
Are you sure that came out in 2010s?
I mean, I can go to the wiki. 2009 had 2 seasons.
Okay, so it was just before Marvel took off. Because, Iron Man came out. But we'll get to the movies in a little bit. We'll go to video games. So do you remember the first video game that we played? It might not have been the first one that we played that was superhero related, but...
Spider-Man 2?
Maybe. It might have been Spider-Man 2. But I'm thinking the one that Shane brought over.
Oh, you're talking about Wolverine X2 on the GameCube. Because that was one of our first 4 games.
Yes. For the GameCube. No, I'm thinking side-scroller, beat-em-up, Marvel something.
Side-scroller, beat-em-up.
Shane brought it over one day, and I don't remember if it was on the PS2 or what it was. But it was I think it was a side-scroller, and you played as 4 characters. We only played it once. I think it was X-Men something. But if people know, you can put in the comments below.
I mean, there's not a lot to go off of X-Men beat 'em up because there's a few of those.
But yeah, so we played Wolverine that game, which was hard. For us at the time. It was hard.
Do not give that game to children. That's not a children's game because it's like, yeah, I'm going to use the claws, but I don't heal when the claws are out.
Oh yeah.
Either that or the claws drain your health. One of the two.
Okay.
I know you heal if you get your claws tucked in, which
right.
is stupid because like I want to be Wolverine and slash things.
Yeah.
I don't want to be Wolverine and punch.
I just remember playing that game and I was like, really didn't give a shit about it. It just, because I like Wolverine. And this wasn't the yellow.
No, this was the Hugh Jackman Wolverine.
Yeah. So
that's the right guy.
I don't know. We never beat it, or did you ever? I know
I beat it with cheat codes.
Okay.
Because I wanted to see what it was about, and like the final boss is just like Lady Wolverine, and she's got like instead of having 3 claws, all her fingers are like long ass like claws. And it's like on a helipad, and I hated it.
Okay.
I think she also had the ability to regen. It's like that's good.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's fucking sucks. You had to put your claws away to regen. So then we move to Spider-Man on the GameCube, Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, not Spider-Man 1. That one came later.
Yeah, surprise. Yeah, this was I think to this day probably one of the best superhero games.
Yeah, and we played it for the channel a while ago.
I don't know if it ever went up. I think did it go up?
I gave you the.
Well, I know
it might have gone up from the vault or something.
Well, I know you gave me the video, and I can't remember if it went up prior to the derecho or it was going to go up, and then the derecho popped up.
I don't know what to do with it.
But yeah, so they'll eventually go up. But that was probably one of the best superhero games. Then I don't think I played. Then I played Friend.
Spider-Man Friend or Foe?
Yeah, Friend or Foe, which was interesting because you got to team up with the Goblin, the Green Goblin.
You can team up with like anybody.
Yeah.
And you hated playing it with me, I think, because I wanted to be a different character every time. You're like, I'm not upgrading all the characters.
Oh, was that one of the things? Yeah.
Yeah, because it was player 1 was stuck at Spider-Man, and player 2 could play as anybody. He's like, I want to try this guy, and you're like, no, I'm not upgrading that one as well.
But that game was all right. Like I said, I think still in this time and space, I'm not a big superhero guy. And then The Amazing Spider-Man, the game came out, tie in with the movies, and I think that game, I still hold that the GameCube one is better, but I think if you want updated graphics on the PS3, that's the fucking game to go with. And I don't know. And then there was like a couple PSP games that we had. We had Justice League.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I was gonna take a picture of it to remind me. It was something Justice League, and
I can pull it up real quick.
I can't remember if it was a Diablo. It wasn't Diablo-like, I don't think.
No, it was a beat 'em up.
Was it beat 'em up?
It was a 3D beat 'em up.
That game was pretty fun.
Yeah, I wish I could have actually played it.
Yeah, because when you got the PSP, the yours was busted.
Yeah, so I had to settle for hoping that I could watch the cutscenes before
the game crashed.
Before it soft locked. It was Justice League Heroes.
Okay. Wow, what's such a generic name?
Yeah, and it got a 72 on Metacritic.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Huh, it's on PS2 as well. Weird.
Jeff's like, alright, writing that one down. I can play that later.
Whoa. It was developed by WayForward? When did that happen?
Oh, Jeff's now got it. Now Jeff's really there. He's like,
That's, probably the DS one.
Jeff's like, okay, Boner's going away now.
Or maybe the Game Boy Advance one, I don't know.
Definitely not. And then there was Marvel's Inhumans, I think.
Yeah, Marvel Rise of the Inhumans.
Which was kind of a Diablo-like, I think.
I don't think it was.
Well, it was like it was a top-down.
I didn't play that one either.
I think I beat it, or I got to the end, and I was like, okay, that's good enough. It was like really. It was basically what the PS3 and Xbox 360 strived to be: a brown looking
All
palette.
I remember was there was one stage, it was on a bridge, and it was raining, and everything looked the same.
But yeah, so then we got the GameCube Spider-Man 1, and it's like, oh yeah, you can always spend time in.
You can't land on the ground. Yeah. The ground is no place for Spider-Man. It's like, oh, okay, if you say so.
Oh, going back to the GameCube, I think one of the best moments ever in history, and I wanted to do a top 10 eventually of moments that we remember in video games, and I think this would probably be number one. Spoilers, is when that Mysterio comes up and he gets like 5 health bars.
No, he gets like 10. He gets a lot.
And I remember because we just came off fighting Rhino, and I was like, oh fuck, that was a tough fight.
Yeah, you just bumming around. You walk into the convenience store. There's Mysterio at the checkout,
and it's like, all right, 10 bars. I was like, okay, what? All right,
let's do this grind.
And I punched him once, and it's like boom, 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 and then it just his health bar is gone. And it's like, I'm beaten. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, especially since before that fight, there's a scene in the opera house or whatever. And it's hard as balls. Like you're swinging around from everywhere trying to do something or other, and it's like, oh, I'm out here, bye. And then he just dies.
Yeah, so that's probably my favorite scene. Then we'll move on to the game. I think if it's your first time playing it, I think it's probably the quote unquote best Spider-Man. But if you played any other Spider-Mans, for me, it's mediocre. It's the new Spider-Man on the PS4.
Yeah, 2018 Spider-Man, more of the same.
Yeah, playing that game, I really just didn't like that. Like,
I thought it was fine. Like everything controlled well. Like it was polished. I'll give it that. It just felt like every mission was the same mission over and over again. And it's just like, you gotta do 5 crime things here.
Yep.
And then you gotta do 5 crime things here. And you know what? How about 5 more crime things here? It's just like, okay, game, I get it. I beat up the same guy 300 times now.
Well, I think too, it also had something I don't like in video games where it's a 3-act system, because they spoil us in the reveal that you fight all the
Sinister Six.
Yeah, you fight them, and it's like I'm playing the game. And I'm like, okay, so when's
where are they at?
When's this guy show up? And when's this guy show up? And it's like on a 3rd act, it's like, oh well, here's all the villains, and then we're gonna group them together, and it's just gonna be like the game went from being like I don't think it was hard, but it went from being all right now that these guys are bullet sponges, or I shouldn't say bullet sponges, punch sponges.
now they're web sponges.
Yeah, so I was like, oh my god, playing that game, I just got to the point where and then the reason why I stopped playing is I was like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna take a break, I'm gonna play a DLC, and I accidentally saved the DLC on one of my files. So I had a shit ton I collected all the backpacks and all the pictures and stuff. So basically, I had saved over top of that file, and I was just like, all right, I'm done. But the DLC was exactly the same. This is in a shorter time period.
Yeah, no, it was just a smaller map.
So I'm just like, all right, well, that's.
Yeah, and it was unfortunate because I didn't know that at the time. And I'm like, man, I can't wait to play the DLC where you can play as the other characters. And you're like, what other characters? I'm like, isn't the first one about Black Cat? And the second one about somebody else? And the third one's about Silver Sable? And you're like, no, you played as Spider-Man. I'm like, oh.
It's like, oh, okay, well.
I didn't make it through the DLCs.
Yeah, I stopped. I just...
I got halfway through the second one, and I'm like, I don't care anymore. I've done all these missions before.
And then DC's games, you had DC versus not Marvel.
Mortal Kombat.
DC versus Mortal Kombat, which was okay. I mean, it was DC letting their IPs. Well, I mean, WB owns both Mortal Kombat, so it was an easy fit. But that also paved the way for the Injustice games, which I'm not a huge.
I liked the first one. I don't think I would like the second one.
Except I think I either owned the first one or I played the first one from you on the thing on the Wii U. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, okay, I'll get number 2 because there's more characters and stuff. And then I just played them like, oh my god, I don't like sluggish fighters.
Let's see, and then you got the Arkham series.
Oh wow, that would have been a crime if I didn't bring those up.
I was wondering when you were going to bring them up because you're like,
I completely forgot about it.
You're like, oh yes, there was a Spider-Man on the PS3, and then there was Spider-Man on the PS4. I'm like, what about the Arkham on the PS3?
Well, Batman doesn't exist. What are you talking about? Yeah, I got. I never played. I played briefly of Asylum after I played City, but I never really played Asylum, so I can't really speak much to that. But City was pretty fun.
It was bloated.
It
had the same problem with Spider-Man 2018.
Yeah,
that's where it's more the same.
But I think it works because it did it before the Spider-Man, so it's like it kind of has that grace period where it's like, well, we did it first, so they didn't do it first, but we're like, hey, well, we did it before this game, so we're like, nobody thinks of it.
I would like to contend though that the Arkham games just literally ripped off the Spider-Man 2 mechanic of because in the Arkham games you get the Batman's head will flash when he can parry an attack, but that was the thing they did in Spider-Man 2, where Spider-Man's head would flash when he could parry an attack.
Yeah.
So I like to contend that they kind of jocked that one, and then a lot of people just didn't realize.
You never played Night, did you?
No, I only played City. I played it on the Wii U, so I think I got the inferior one. Because there was the armored mode. And it was just like, wow, that's super fun. I can do 1.2 times more damage with armored mode for 5 seconds.
Arkham Knight was all right. It's basically City but bigger now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they give you the Batmobile, the Bat Tank.
That he still doesn't kill anybody. He just
they
lightly go to sleep.
Batman, why did you break his neck? I didn't. He's sleeping now. No, Batman doesn't kill anybody but grunts.
Yes.
He only kills henchmen. He does not kill villains.
Then I think. So, are you looking forward to the two new Suicide Squad or the Arkham? I think it's called. Which is funny because Arkham has always been associated with Rocksteady, but so now Rocksteady's counterpart, Montreal, is doing the Arkham Knight. I don't know what it's called. It's something. It's Arkham Fighters or something. I don't know. And then there's the Rocksteady's doing Suicide Squad. So I don't know if you're interested in either one.
Not particularly.
I think I'm interested in the Suicide Squad because it continues Arkham Knight. And I guess briefly we should mention, neither one of us have played it, but Marvel's Avengers, that just came out.
You're talking about Suicide Squad killed the Justice League?
Yeah, that one, and then there's...
So that's Rocksteady's, and then... I don't know what else there is.
Yeah, the other night one is you play as Batgirl, Robin, and Nightwing. Nightwing or I think it's Nightwing. I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, it's probably Nightwing. I don't know.
But Batman's dead in that one.
Oh no! I can't believe it.
So
they killed the Batman.
So like I said, neither one of us played the new Marvel's game. I haven't played it just because I heard there's a lot of microtransactions and battle passes, and I'm like, I'm not buying. And I'm not a huge Destiny guy, and that's essentially what.
I looked at it and I said, "Yep, that looks like a PS2 gameplay," and I'm like, I don't need that right now. I might pick it up when it's like $15, so in a couple months. I imagine that's going to be a game that drops like a rock.
I think if you pick it up, I'll pick it up so we can play together if you want. Otherwise, I don't really have.
I mean, I don't have much.
I heard the story mode is pretty good. You know, you play as Kamala Khan. That's what I was thinking when you said Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because she is Miss Marvel as well.
So let's back up. So when we have cartoons, who would you go with? Would you rather watch Marvel cartoons or DC cartoons?
That depends on which style the DC cartoons are in. Are they in the animated style or are they in the Super Friends style?
The anime. Let's just say like Teen Titan.
I'd probably watch Marvel.
Okay.
Because I mean, if it was Super Friends, I'd watch that all day.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Super
something.
Friends are dumb as hell.
That's something we didn't bring up. I was gonna bring up it, and then we moved on. Or I thought of it in my head. I really didn't watch. The only thing I remember from Super Friends is the fusion between the two, the brother and sister.
Yeah. Well, they didn't fuse. They were the Wonder Twins. It was like shape
of
something.
Bucket of water.
Form of.
Mop handle.
And yeah, it was. They were there.
Did you ever see the porn parody of that? Where
I wouldn't. No.
no, but like he's like, either one of them turns into a dildo, and he's like, wait, what? I don't remember when I saw that, but I thought that was funny. So you would pick Marvel?
Probably.
I'd probably go with DC.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. I'd probably go with DC too.
Because the only thing I can think of is X-Men, the evolution. Like if I was gonna have watching.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'd probably go DC as well. I just wanted to make a joke that I'd rather watch Super Friends.
So that was Marvel?
What?
Super Friends?
No, that's DC.
Okay.
That was 60s DC.
Okay.
That was
Aquaman?
Yeah, that's the one where they've got the really awful Aquaman who does nothing.
Well, that's Aquaman.
Well, yeah. That's the reason why everybody hates Aquaman. And they think he can't do anything. Because it's Super Friends.
So for video games, Marvel or DC, I probably would lean more towards DC because you got the fighting games, and there's not much more you can do with. Oh, Iron Man VR, which neither one of us played as.
Yeah, I mean we've also missed on Capcom versus Marvel, so there's that too. But
wait, Capcom? Oh yeah,
Marvel versus Capcom.
That one's a better fighter.
One through like infinity.
So I didn't even talk about this one. Shit. Then there's Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Which I just got done playing.
Yeah, the actual Diablo, like the thing that you want to call everything.
I want to call everything Diablo. I want to call everything Diablo. That game. Oh boy, let me tell you, I beat it. It comes with boss rush towards the end. And I'm just like. But all the bosses are easy, but thank God. But because there was a couple bosses that I fought, but I really liked that it essentially it's the cartoon version of Marvel's Avengers because it's like all the same premise. It's like all the same bosses, but it's like you get a shit ton. The only problem is the characters level up with. That seems to be a running trend with Marvel. None of the characters level up. You have to play. So I'd probably go with DC.
Yeah, I feel like I had more fun with the Arkham City than I did Spider-Man 2018. So.
Yeah, that's kind of me. That my thinking.
I'd probably also go DC.
So we'll go briefly over this one, the comics. So I went to my local video game store and I bought a shit ton of random comics, and I haven't read any of them. But I like that DC does like a giant booklet.
100 pages.
Yeah, of comic, of the thing. So I haven't read any of them, but if I was gonna pick one, I'd probably go with DC.
I've read probably 3 comics in my lifetime. All 3 of them were DC. 2 of them were Ambush Bug, and 1 was Plastic Man.
So I'm gonna pick Marvel.
No,
Wait,
I'd probably pick.
What was the one?
It was Ambush Bug and Plastic Man.
Okay. Oh, and those you got those borrowed from Josh, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he only got the Plastic Man because they sent him the wrong one. And it's funny because Gorilla Grodd's on the cover. He's not show up anywhere in the comic. So I don't know what the point of that was. But I'd probably watch, or I'd probably read the DC ones.
Okay. That was quick. So far, we've been all on DC.
Yeah.
Well, this one might change. The bread, the butter, the final topic, the movies. I'm just gonna state for a fact that I never really cared about any of the movies, like on either side. I really liked the Nipples Batman. Because you had Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
Mm-hmm.
You had oh God, what's his name? As a Joker.
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson. And so I'm like, and then you had
Jim Carrey as the Riddler, and Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
So I mean, just that in that general that time span, like that's some big fucking actors. Like I mean, they get big actors now, but not as big as like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jack Nicholson and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That was I never liked any of the new Batman movies, The Dark Knight, whatever. I think, and you know, I've never cared about the Joker, the Dark Knight Joker.
Mm-hmm.
I think he gets overhyped because sadly the guy passed away. So I think everybody's just like, oh, it's the best Joker ever, and it's like, well, you know, let's see. I don't know. I feel bad.
I mean, he's still better than Jared Leto's Joker.
That is true.
That was a bad Joker. That was a joke of a Joker.
I think if they wouldn't have made him look cartoonish, like the ha 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 ha, it's like that looks like something I'd make on a wrestler.
I think whatever he was wearing on his teeth, I think that's another thing because he just looked fake as shit.
Yeah. I never really cared for. Oh, damn it! The Harley Quinn animated series. That was a fucking good ass series. You had Haley Coco.
I don't know.
She's from Big Bang Theory.
Sure, why not?
And then you had oh god, what's his name? Ron Funches. He plays the Jaws, or not Jaws. He plays the shark guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was on the Giant Bomb podcast a couple weeks ago. And he's like, you know, I've been pounding my chest for a while now that I would play if somebody was going to make a video game for the shark guy. I'd be the voice actor. Along, you know, they make a game and it's got the shark guy in it. But who they cast? Samoa Joe. I mean, he has no voice. I just thought it was funny. I'm like, yeah, Ron Funches, he's fucking funny. But yeah, so the movies, I just never, and I never watched Superman. Like I said, I could give a shit about Superman. I think he's like the most over like.
Well, yeah, because his entire gimmick is he's as strong as he needs to be.
Yeah.
And if he needs to be stronger, he's magically stronger now. Also, he runs on battery power. No,
I didn't know that. He eats batteries?
No, he's solar powered.
Oh, right. Yeah, he needs a son.
Apparently, his power can run out in the middle of the night, and he's just a regular ass man, not Superman.
This isn't either DC or Marvel, but they did that. I think the director for the Guardians of the Galaxy, he did a video. James Gunn. I love that you're just like a dictionary. Like I get to say something, you're just like, all right, folder, James Gunn. He did.
I pay more attention than I let on.
He did something about. He either wrote it or he was a part of it, but he did Brightburn, which was basically Superman if he was evil. That is a fucking. I mean, the parents are stupid towards the end. Like you just look at it and go. Like,
I mean, you kind of did this to yourself.
Yeah.
Especially you, dad guy, who's like, let's go out and hunt the bunnies.
Yeah, and I'll shoot you in the back of the head, like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to shoot you. And it's like, well, I mean, you had it coming. I mean, you can't, if you would just own it, like, all right, son, I guess you're gonna, melt my face. I guess I deserve it. I tried killing you. You got one over me. And then the mom going, I'll take, I'll help you, and then try to stab him in the back, and he's like, no, bitch, and then it goes right through the fucking, It's like, oh, you brought it upon yourself, so. The only one I felt bad for was the dude, the
uncle who gets, like, his truck gets picked
up.
Because
he never did anything to the kid, like, he never beat the kid, he never, like.
He said his mask was creepy.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I guess he deserves to die for that. I mean, how dare you call my mask creepy? It is kind of creepy, though. But yeah, that was a pretty good movie. Like I said, never cared about really much of the DC movies, so I never got into the craze of the Marvel movies until they started ramping up towards Endgame, where it's like,
yeah, and even then it was like, I don't really want to watch any of these movies
because I really didn't care about the Avengers, because it's like, it's pretty easy bringing all these characters together, and then the next Avengers movie, it's like, okay, they're already together. We just bring in a couple more people. But when they start getting to Endgame, we're like, all right, well, hey, these crystals that, because I don't really pay attention to most, I don't pick up on that, oh yeah, they're all hunting these crystals that are going to play a major role towards the end of, but, because I watched Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, I think are some of the best. Batista fucking nails Drax. He literally laughs like that in one of the movies. Like, so just seeing Batista, I think probably, in my opinion, one of the best three that. The Rock outbeats him, but The Rock plays a lot of shitty movies, and John Cena's kind of like John Cena picks his roles when he wants to play. But yeah, Endgame is like where it kind of build up, and I don't think they really had any movies that were misfires. I think Captain Marvel is probably the biggest misfire.
I mean, a lot of people talk crap about the first like 2 Thor movies, like Thor and Thor Dark World.
Yeah.
They're like, those aren't very good.
But then once Thor turned into Ragnarok,
and then people I don't think really cared for the Hulk movie.
Yeah, well they basically retconned.
But then again, the Hulk movie happened after the other Hulk movie.
Yeah.
Like, those were two. Well, one was like 2006, the other was like 2009, but they were like back to back, and it was just like, wait, you just made a Hulk movie. Why are you making another Hulk movie that's talking about his origins?
See, I didn't know that movie was part of the canon.
Right? Yeah, the second Hulk movie is. The first one's not. The Ang Lee one is not part of the.
It would have been cool to see. I can't think of his name. He was on King of Queens. He was the recurring neighbor, but he played the original Hulk. Lou Ferrigno, I think his name is. It'd been nice to see him like do a cameo or something. He might have, but yeah, I think.
I just know a lot of the numbered sequels, like Iron Man 2 and 3, also didn't do very well, or people didn't like those ones as much either.
Well, I think 2 did alright because it introduced Black Widow, but I think 3 was kind of like.
Well, I remember somebody saying, "Oh yeah, no, you don't have to watch Iron Man 2 or 3. Like those are irrelevant to the plot."
Right. Yeah. Because I think I don't know if they were still. I mean, I don't think they had it planned out.
I remember back in like 2008 when we were hanging out with Josh and John, they had said, "Yeah, this Hulk movie's going to tie in with the Iron Man movie for like the Avengers movie that's going to come out in 2012." So I guess they had known?
Okay.
I guess somebody had known.
Yeah, I think, because I remember that, and I think it was like, okay, so that it'll end there, and it just kept going, and then it's like, okay, we're 6 years in, and okay, now we're 8 years in. It's like, okay, this is getting kind of interesting of how these movies are all gonna tie in together, and then like Infinity War was like, it's like, okay, well, I wish it would have ended there. Endgame is the second one, right?
Yeah, Endgame is the...
Okay, because in my head I kept putting Endgame first.
Endgame is the one where, it's the most ambitious crossover of all time.
Because I think with that, if Endgame would have just ended, or not ended, but like, they would have let the characters stay dead. I know they can't kill Spider-Man, because Sony came out and was like, yeah, we have a movie coming right after Endgame, and everybody's like, well, shit, now we know Spider-Man's coming back. But yeah, I'm interested. I still don't. I'm interested to see, because now we're into phase 5, I think, and it's like all characters that nobody knows.
You see, I lost a lot of interest when they're like, oh, we're gonna do like Disney Plus series with these. Like, there's a Loki series. I'm like, oh. Now you're making TV shows. Like, I already have enough to watch with just the movies. Because there's like 23 movies with Endgame.
Yeah.
And it's just like, now you're going to make entire TV shows. And you're not going to just do like 12 episodes. You're going to do like 48 episodes.
Yeah, I hope they keep it tight, like a tight niche on. Like, all right, so we're only doing one season. And so get your points across. Yeah, because once they start dragging it on... Because I think that's the biggest thing with like the DC TV shows, where we didn't talk about the TV shows.
Not really.
But like,
I mean, there's not a whole lot of DC TV shows outside of Justice League and Teen Titans.
Well,
and the animated series.
There's the Flash, Batwoman, which is getting recasted.
Oh, you're talking about like actual TV shows. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the cartoons.
No.
And Arrow. Don't forget about Arrow.
Yeah, don't forget. How dare I forget about it? I slapped my hand.
Batman, but with a bow.
But yeah, but none of those tie into anything. So that's so that's kind of good for like, yeah, we can go like 6 seasons and it means absolutely nothing towards the story. But you can also see where like points are getting, like mingled. We're like, oh, well, we're not really paying attention to what we're putting out. So that's kind of. As long as Disney keeps it tight niche and says, I'm not going to watch any of them anyways, unless they come out on DVD and I'm like, okay, I'll pick it up. But, so that's all I got. But yeah, so just the ambition towards Endgame. So I think if we're going to vote, I have to go with Marvel on movies.
Honestly, DC put out the 1960s Batman movie, that's all I need.
I guess we touched on that real fast. Adam West, one they make the original.
Best Batman.
Yeah.
The best Batman. You're wrong. I would think otherwise.
I wish they would go back to like a funny Batman.
I wish they would too, because there's a part in one of the, I don't know if if it's in the show or if it's in the movie, but he's just carrying a giant cartoon bomb and he's just trying to throw it away. He's like, man, some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. And he's on a pier with it.
But it's like, because I was in Justice League, he was serious, but he could also be funny. Mm-hmm. I should say we didn't even touch on the Justice League movie. Yeah, that movie's fucking boring as hell.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I watched it, and like I literally was
you need to watch the Snyder Cut, which is like 6 hours longer.
Yeah, fuck that. I could care less about the HBO series.
No, the Snyder Cut is...
It's going on HBO.
Oh,
it's going to be an hour each.
Oh, that's how they're doing it?
It's going to be 4 weeks, an hour each.
Oh, that's awful. I thought they were just going to release it on one...
That's what I thought too.
One big-ass DVD. Where it's like 4 hours long.
So you would go with DC for movies?
Mm-hmm. Because, DC is at least... They make their movies self-contained. They don't...
Right.
They've been trying to do this multiverse thing.
Or they failed up on that.
The DC cinematic universe, but
they made pretty good Aquaman. They kind of... I'll have to give them credit for them taking the stereotype of Aquaman being stupid and not really anything, and putting Jason Momoa on it, and it's like, okay, they turn around. They turn around Aquaman.
I don't really care about either of the cinematic universes, but the standalones.
Yeah.
I think DC's always been
I
better.
get you on that.
Because I mean, Marvel's got Daredevil.
True.
Granted, DC's got Catwoman. So I mean, you trade off.
And we put them together, and we get.
But like, yeah, no, a lot of Marvel's like standalone stuff I don't think is very good. Because I don't think Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3 are particularly that good.
Yeah. Well, this is a lot of these movies you kind of bring up, like Daredevil, the Spider-Man. These are all pre-Disney buying.
Mm-hmm. And then the Ghost Rider duology.
Oh.
The only good part is the part where he pisses fire for some reason.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, no, Marvel standalone movies are very not fun to watch.
I get you.
So I'd prefer to watch, I guess, DC's.
I'm actually surprised. I'm surprised at the turnout because I didn't expect going in what I figured for me it would at least be a 3-2 or whatever. You were a 5-0. You're a Disney fan or Disney fan? You're
four.
a
There was only 4 categories.
We did comics.
Yeah, games,
games, movies,
comics,
cartoons. You're 4-0, Jacob.
Yeah.
Fucking DC fanboy over here.
I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ, I don't even know you. But
yeah, that sounds about right.
So, well, I guess we'll call that good. I can't stand to be in this room anymore with this DC fanboy.
This guy who thinks the Marvel Cinematic...
Even though I'm 3-1.
This guy who thinks the Marvel Cinematic movies are better than the DC standalones. I can't believe it. Get me out of here.
So I hope you guys enjoyed.
We're not coming back for next week.
Yeah, fuck it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Maybe stay tuned for next week. Who knows?
See ya.